Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. Representing Team Kings of Games. And today, you guys, I'm going to be updating my Power Rangers, playing them the way that I wanted to play them in the first place. I decided to take the advice of a lot of people, and I'm like, not changing the way I play for anybody. I will gladly provide budget options, but everybody that hates Dangers is just going to have to swallow their big pill and accept the fact that I like Dangers and I'm gonna play them in any deck that I want to. I'm not gonna go through with that anymore. I originally put up a variant of Super Quantums. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a really neat build and it was cool. I did actually like it a lot, and I enjoyed the innovation that it had. But I always wanted to play Super Quantums with Dangers, and I don't want to hear the Dangers and everything. It's cancer. It's not creative. Like I don't even care anymore. I'm gonna do what I wanted to do originally, and a lot of people actually asked me for this take on Super Quantums in the first place. It is the superior build, so I'm gonna show it. All right. So without further ado, I present to you Danger Super Quantums or Danger Power Rangers. If you're a Danger hater, you don't have to be here. You don't even have to watch it. So let's hop into it, you guys. So we're gonna start off with 3 copies of White Layer. Now this is a fairly new card. It actually did a lot of justice for this deck. This card really, it didn't break the deck, but it just made it a tier higher than what it was. And it wasn't even a tier 3 deck, but now I would say that it can be considered a tier 3 deck. It puts out tier 2 material, which can contend with actual tier 1 decks. It's kind of funny how the tier caliber falls, where a tier 3 deck can put out boards that can contend with the tier 2 deck. Given if it went first, of course, and then tier 2 decks put out material that can contend with tier 1 boards, and tier 1s can put out material that contends with 0. It's kind of funny, but yes, this deck can put out boards that can actually really stun or control or manipulate the tempo of the other playstyles of tier 2 decks, and sometimes tier 1 decks. Like, it can put up a really good board for Danger Thunder. It's not so great against Striker and Salmagrate, but for Danger Thunder and for Orcas, it can really shut them down. But White Layer is the best Power Ranger right now, and his effects are amazing. He has a myriad of them, and all of them are good. I explained what he does in my other profile, but if you need a refreshment, you can just ask me in the comments. And then we have the actual star of the deck. Baby Alphin is incredible. This card actually cannot be Ash Blossom if you read his effect. He picks 3 from Super Quants with different names from your deck, and your opponent randomly picks one for you special to your field. You send the rest of the grave. So many people keep trying to argue with me saying you can Ash Blossom this card. It does not add from deck to hand, and it does not special from the deck. This card can be Veilered or Impermanenced, or it can be Gamma. You cannot Ghost Ogre this, and you cannot Ash Blossom this. So I like that Ash and Ogre, being the more popular hand traps of the moment right now, cannot interact with this card and prevent his effect from resolving. He has another really cool effect where he can target any Super Quantum you control and all other monsters. Every single monster in your field becomes the level of that. So you can make some really, really neat XYZ plays with that. And you can even turn your level 7 Nessies into level 4s. You can turn your level 4 Dangers and your level 3 Dangers into level 7, so you can do more rank 7 plays. It just depends on what your extra deck looks and how you're trying to play the deck. We also have 3 Red Rangers, which is one of the next best starter cards. In fact, I prefer to start with Red and then go into White Ranger, or I'm sorry, Little Alphin, because it's the best way for you to set your boards up, and plus you get no other opportunity to capitalize off of that free body, because every body matters. You need to do a lot of extending to set up the boards that you're trying to set up with this deck. It's pretty bonkers what you can do, though, and it is very fun, and it can get out of hand. We also have 3 copies of Blue Ranger. She is the Stratos of the deck. All the effects, if you need a refreshment, just ask me in the comments, but I don't want to waste time in this profile to explain the effects of them, because I've already explained what they do in my other profile. So if you need a refreshment, you can ask me in the comments, or you could just go watch the profile that I put up for these recently. And then we have 2 Green Rangers. Green Ranger is actually my personal favorite for the art, not for the effect, but for the art. He looks the coolest. I imagine myself in that green armor. Yeah, he really looks savage, bro. I didn't know this was a girl at first, but I felt pretty dumb because there are titties right there in my face, but I didn't know. So those are the Power Rangers. They're the best cards in your entire deck. Everything thrives around them. They kind of are the bread and butter, and if you don't open at least one of them, everything falls apart. You have to have at least one Power Ranger because you can't even make your Super Quantum Link monster without at least one of them. So yeah, you have to open one. You kind of have to maximize. But at the same time, I cut Green Ranger down to 2 because the dangers really were helping me to dig into my deck so I can get better access. And Green Ranger is the one that does nothing by itself, but Blue can do something by herself, Red can do something by itself, and so can White. But Green needs another Super Quant, whether it's a card or a monster. He can't do anything by himself, so he was the easiest one to cut. Now for the part of the deck everybody's going to cry and whine and complain about. We have 3 copies of Vanessa. So Danger Nessie is really strong in this deck. It's a really good discard fodder for your field spell. So that way you get to get a +1 because you'll still draw off of the Blaster, and then you get to search off Nesty. And you can extend your combo plays by searching out Jackalope, and then you get the exact level that you need for your next XYZ summon. And then we have Sook. The beauty of these dangers that I'm playing is their levels actually contribute to the rank plays that you're trying to go for, because the generic, the Power Rangers, their Zoids, which is basically the ships that they pilot, if you remember in the show, their Zoids actually have ranks that basically in unison, they resemble the levels. So the level 3 has a rank 3 that it pilots, and the level 4 has a rank 4 that it pilots. So the dangers give you every level that you need. They allow you to go into all the XYZs for the Super Quantum. So Nessie lets you go into the rank 7s, and these bad boys, which are the better dangers, allow you to go into your rank 3 Grand Pulse, and then Chupacabras and Mothman allow you to go into your rank 4, which is Ouroboros. There's no level 5 danger, but it would help. So the Red Power Ranger, you kind of have to use Alphin's effect sometimes to make everything level 5s. And then other times you just use the field spell to just XYZ using just him by himself. So yeah, that's the dangers. We play actually 12 of them instead of the standard 9. You don't need to open that many of them, but they are really powerful whenever you're going off with the field spell, because all these have good discard effects. You're going to special from grave, special from deck. Sook specials himself. You've got Vanessa to search out everything, and then Mothman is just for the utility of filtering out your hand and getting better cards, especially when you just draw one and then discard a Super Quant. That's the other synergy that the Dangers have with the Super Quantums, is all of their effects are on summon and if to grave, and the if does not miss timing, and they just have to be sent to the grave. It doesn't matter how. So they don't need to leave the field, they just have to be sent to the grave. So whenever you reveal a danger and you RNG and discard any of the Super Quants, you'll get to draw and then get another effect on a separate chain link. And then the best normal summon of the deck is going to be either Lone Fire or Scorpio. These are still the most powerful cards in this deck. They're more powerful than the Dangers because they can self-contained give you a vast majority of what you need to set up. So it's less work for one card versus just RNG with the Dangers and try to make the Link 3, and then still try to continue RNG with the Dangers to try to push and extend further. And then we have Gem Knight Alexandrite. He's the best looking Gem Knight that I could play for my Brilliant Fusion target. I don't care about Garnet being 1900. My mindset, I'm never going to draw it, so I might as well just have the best looking one anyways. It doesn't matter. I'll show you guys a cool one-card combo you can do with the Predaplants. You'll see. But next up for the spells, we have 3 copies of Magna Carrier. This field spell is so important that you have to maximize on it by playing the 2 Terraformings to search it out. Even with the draw power that 12 Dangers would provide you, you still need to get access to this card, because you can't rely on Alphin or Blue Layer being summoned off of Alphin all the time. And your normal summon, it rarely ever goes to Blue Layer. Like, it always goes to Alphin or the plants. It goes to one or the other. Like, if it ever goes to Blue Layer, then yeah, you'll search this out, but you can't just rely on that. So you need to maximize on this, because also when you see this, then your Blue Layer can search out another Ranger that you need so that you can put it under the proper Zoid so that they can get their effects as supposed to be too, because they have the proper pilot that's piloting them. And then the rest are one-ups. It's going to be Reasoning, 1-for-1, Foolish Burial, Emergency Teleport, and Brilliant Fusion. All the spells matter. I am no longer playing Called By because the Dangers actually allow you to play through it's crazy. They allow you to play through a lot. Like what an Ogre would have done, a Danger can solve. So now we're going to move forward to the extra deck, and then I'll get to the combo for you guys. So Rosemary Jasmine was supposed to be in my build before, but I did not have her at the time. Now that I have her, You guys will know how important this card is, but yeah, she's pretty bonkers. I want to play Evil Thorns in my deck as well, just so I have that one card combo still, but I unfortunately don't have Evil Thorns, but this card is actually bonkers in this deck. And then we also have Blaster King, Blaster, so Met King Blaster, Magna. His name's pretty sophisticated. This card's really nuts. You can't really do the full combo the way you want to in a comfortable manner without him. But no matter what, you always need a Link monster that has 3 zones, and then you still need to jump zones. So what you normally do is you start your combo here with Jasmine, and you're gonna summon one of your Megazoids, one of your Super Quantum XYZs into Jasmine zone. Then you take her and your extra Super Quantum, and then you make this. Then you get to summon your 2 other Zoids, and then you transfer them all and summon the Magnus, a Great Magnus, on the other zone that is unoccupied with no monsters in that zone. That's how you do the combo. And then Borosaur is still there because he's easy to make with the dangers. And you go for game at random times. It's high pressure. And then I'm still playing the same ratio for my my Zoids because I actually like maximizing on them because the Blue Ranger, you can only use it once per turn, and putting back 3 might seem like a lot to you, but when you resolve 1 Alphen and get into your combo to summon Magnus, you have exhausted basically 8 to 9 of your actual superpowers and Power Rangers in your main deck, and you've exhausted at least one of each of these, sometimes 2 of them, and you just really need to summon more because you can't rely on Blue. And then it sucks when Blue gets like Claw Bite or negated, and then you really just have to have the extra copies because you couldn't recycle if you just played 1 of each. So I still play Seraphonite. And oh yeah, this is not supposed to be there. The Paradise Smasher is still my tech that I'm playing for this deck. It could be anything, including a Dweller, which would be better. But I really love this card. It actually is like True King of all calamities. It's easier to make with Alphen, but it's still possible without Alphen. Basically, it just requires level 5s. It's a rank 5, it's generic, but it's True King of all calamities. It tells you can't play, and I like that a lot. So now I'm going to get into the combo. Yeah, we're 12 minutes in. That's great. That's actually really, really good. So I can get into the combo. So now there is one thing. There's one pivotal point of the combo. When you resolve Alphen, it is way easier to do with Blue Ranger. If you do not hit off Blue Ranger, then you are required to have access to Magna Carrier already. So if you open Plant and Magna Carrier, it's way, way easier to do. So I'll just let you guys know that right now. But I'll show you guys exactly what one plant will do for you, just by itself. You know, even if it doesn't hit the Blue Ranger, it still gets you really far. Just one. So you can just normally your Blossom. I'm not even going to waste time by going through all 3 of the Blossoms. I'm just going to go into Scorpio. You just got a Danger or a Super Quant for cost, and then you'll get them on a separate chain to get you another piece of advantage. Then you're going to summon out Cobra. Cobra is going to search you the Breeding Fusion. You're going to get a lot. I mean, just a ton of advantage off of one plant. That's why the plants are kind of staple in this deck at this point. So we're going to activate Breeding Fusion now. And what we're going to do is we're going to send White Layer and our Gem Knight. And we're going to bring out Seraphonite. And what's going to happen here is, remember I told you, every Power Ranger gets this effect if it's sent to the graveyard. So because White Layer was sent to the graveyard, it's going to trigger its effect to add Alphen from deck to hand. And we do have another normal summon. So this is where it gets bonkers because you get all this advantage and then you get Alphen. And Alphen's going to just do the nuts for you. So you're going to normal Alphen, tribute it for cost, and then you're going to select the Power Rangers of your choice. So I'm going to select red. I'm going to select blue. And I prefer to select another white because normally you have another Super Quant in your hand where it won't hurt so much if you miss. Like when you have too many in your hand, then you want to summon green just so that if it hits, you can special summon the Super Quant that you want. Like for example, when you open this combo and you have a Blue Layer in hand, you can always pick green as one of your targets so that way green will get effective special Blue Layer from hand. But ideally, these are the better targets. This graveyard effect is already resolved, so you won't get advantage off of it. So if you wanted to switch it, you can, but its on summon effect is really good when it goes to the field. And since we're doing this showcase as just the 1-card combo, having green hit the grave wouldn't do much. and having it hit the field wouldn't do much because you can't play it off. We're not pretending like we have another Super Quant in hand. We're just going off of a self-contained, just the plant by itself. So these are what we're going to pick, and to make it fair, I'll shuffle these really good, and then I'll still use a dice. Just so you guys don't think I'm trying to make it, I guess, stack the odds in my favor. Let me grab my dice real quick. Okay. And now I'm going to roll the dice. It's going to be 2, 4, 6. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5, 6 it is. We picked red layer. If it was blue, it would be insane, but this is not the end of the world. So we're going to send blue, and red is going to trigger its effect. And I, personally, I would add the... I'd say add the white because it's an extender also. And then blue will trigger its effect, and we're actually just going to shuffle these all back. And what we're going to do next... Oh yeah, we're not going to shuffle all of them back, actually. Blue is not going to shuffle all of them back. It will leave a white. We will leave a white. Because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to activate white's effect to summon, right? So we're going to send one non-light Super Quant from our hand or face it from our field to the grave to special summon this card from our hand in defense. Okay? That's going to trigger red's effect to special summon from the grave. What we're going to do is we're going to special summon the white. We can also then go ahead and use white's effect on summon. We're supposed to do that right then and there. But we can send one Super Quant monster from our deck to the grave, and this card's attribute and level become the same as that monster. So if we didn't already trigger red or blue, we could send blue anyways. And also if we had the fodder to discard and draw off green, we could just send green. So yeah, you could also use that. Just keep that in mind. But then we can just convert these and this, and we just convert it into the... Oh yeah, we are supposed to do that because that's how you keep it self-contained. So you use him and you send a blue ranger. So his level and attribute become that. Then we take this and this, those three monsters. And we go straight into the king. And then we overlay these two level 3s, and then we can go into the Grand Pulse. Now, it would be better. I mean, one plant does get you all of this, and you get his effect to draw. So you do get to draw, which is really cool. So you get your cards to pay for themselves. But it would be so different if the Blue Ranger just literally, all it had to do was just get summoned off of white. That simple, and it would make that much more of a difference, because then you could just go off. And you would normally be able to summon Magnus if you just had one other Super Quantum monster whose effect had not been used that you could still trigger that turn. But now I'm going to go ahead and do a test hand for you guys so that we can really get the fullness of how this deck functions, and so that you guys can see that a first turn Magnus is very possible now, and it's easier to do than it ever has been before in the past. And the Magnus is still no joke. When you've got a Magnus that tells your opponent that they can't search, this is a Colossus that's stronger, that can shuffle your cards back, that's unaffected by things, and if you do try to attack over it or kaiju it, it floats into 3 different Zoids. There is no just way that you can just clear that card and not suffer the consequences. It's a really powerful card, and it's worth the resources you sacrifice to make it. So we've drawn White Layer, we've drawn Tsuchinoko, we've drawn Scorpio, Magna Carrier, and Chupacabra. I shuffled. I didn't stack. You guys watch me shuffle. And this is actually a godly hand. So, I have to activate this so that it doesn't get discarded. And what I'll go ahead and do is I'll normal summon my plant. Activate its effect. Let's go ahead and discard the Tsuchinoko for cost. And now this hand's looking better, so I think it's more than likely going to happen that the combo should happen, and we should be able to get to Magnus. I don't see a reason why we shouldn't, or that we wouldn't, but we'll see. Grab the Brilliant. It is kind of random sometimes the way this deck works, so you never know what you're going to get all the time. You just kind of know what you're going to start with. You don't know what's going to happen in between. Because Alphen is very random. We're going to bring Fusion. We're going to send him. Because we have to. His effect to summon itself, it cannot happen right now, which is unfortunate. Send that. And then summon the Seraphonite. And then his effect will trigger to get us Alphen. And we have extenders in hand this time, so it should be a lot easier. We just need for that Blue Ranger to... That is the most pivotal part. You need Blue Ranger to be summoned. This is good. We have the field spell, so it can work, but Blue Ranger will search us out the other Power Ranger that we need so that we can actually summon 3. You'll see. You'll see. We're getting there anyways. And then what we have here... It's going to be a little difficult. It actually is because of the Jasmine. So you know what? When we summon the plants from here on out, we need to make sure that we do this first. Link those 2 plants into Jasmine and then summon Seraphonite there to Jasmine's zone. So that's what we do first, and then we make Jasmine first, then we do Seraphonite. So we just need to make sure that that happens. And then we're going to use the extra normal summon on Alphen. We're going to tribute him. We're going to take red. And since we do have white layer, now we're just going to go for red, blue, and green ranger. And the Magnus is looking like it's going to be very possible. Alright, let's just see if luck is with us or not. That's the only thing with Alphen. I mean, you're going to get some great effects off, even if you don't summon the right one. I just wish that Alphen didn't say 3 with different names. I wish it was like Pantheism, where you just reveal 3 of the same if you want. So same thing. Go in a different direction, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 4, so we hit the middle. I knew it was going to be him. I just felt it in my bones. Summon the Green Ranger. So that kind of hurts, but it's not going to be as bad. So we have, separate chain links. It doesn't matter what chain links you call because this is a test hand, but if you're playing around hand traps, there would be an order that you want to go. But we're definitely going to trigger green to special summon white from hand. And that's going to trigger white on a separate chain link. And then red's going to bring back blue. And of course the blue would just put back the white and the red. And so for sure it's going to happen. Now it absolutely, undeniably is going to happen. And what we can do... No, we've resolved every good effect. White, I don't even want to use his effect on summon to change his level or attribute or anything like that. I don't want to do it. We're gonna activate Jasmine, tribute Seraphonite, and special loan, and then tribute loan, and let's just deck then a little bit because I don't want to draw loans anymore. So we're gonna tribute loan, and then bring out another Scorpio. And I suppose that this should have been there the entire time. So yeah, this should have been in this zone instead of this one. No, it has to be that one because then we're gonna jump zones and yeah, I guess this has to be there. So I placed it right. No, I didn't place it right. All right, so we're gonna activate the field spell. If we are going to do it right away, we're gonna discard the Chupacabra. Ah, no. How do we do this? How are we gonna do this? There is a way. It is possible. It is possible. It's like, dang. We're almost there. I can feel it in my bones. I know that we're there. I know, like, there is a way to do it. We need to summon that king. Let's just see what extenders we draw. So, yeah, well, actually, yeah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. If we discard this to XYZ there, and then bring back Souk, and then we take... Ah, okay, 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 okay. So this what I messed up my zones. That's all. This had to be summoned there, because if we... Okay, so if we discard this and we summon the Grand Pulse there, this is going to bring back a Souk. Or, yeah, what else could it bring back? No, it would just bring back the Souk. So what we do is we discard this and we XYZ with him. Yes! Okay, okay, okay. I think I got it. I think I got it. So let's see if I'm going to do this right. We're going to discard this. So yeah, she did have to be over here, and he had... I just messed up my zones. That's all it was. I just messed up my zones. So we're going to discard. We're going to XYZ here. I apologize. I made mistakes. God forbid, right? We're going to take the Jasmine and the blue layer, and we'll go into the blaster. We're going to jump zones here. Go into the blaster. Oh yeah, and then I've almost forgot the separate chain Chupacabra will bring back the Souk. And then we can take this plant and the Souk, and we can overlay into Grand Pulse, trigger this effect. Yeah, Magnus is happening. We draw a card, it's Reasoning. Now, Reasoning is a good card, and it could potentially lead into more, but I want the for sure thing. So we're going to discard that Reasoning, and we're going to overlay into the White Ranger, his Megazord. Then we're going to draw a card again. And there's still an open zone here, so we're going to send this away. We're going to take all of these monsters right here. Whew! Okay, we made it happen, you guys. It seemed it is tough with this deck. It's not easy. It is pretty tough to make Magnus sometimes. It requires a lot of thinking, and I just didn't see it at first. Then we're going to get this effect. We're going to draw. We drew into White Layer. And our first turn Magnus is how powerful? 5, 6, 7. We have made a first turn Magnus with 7 materials. So, yeah. Good luck with that. And then, let's say the Magnus dies. For some odd reason, they were just so godly that they summoned Borisword and I didn't shuffle it. You would basically... Magnus would bring back the 3 Megazoids. You could activate this on your next turn. Whatever you draw, you drew the Nessie, so that's nuts. You would just activate this, and you could literally just send it away and bring those 3 XYZs back and then make another Magnus. You know, just a weaker Magnus. But also, just having these in your hand is nuts, because you can actually extend a little bit first before you do so. But the first turn Magnus, it happened. So that's a first turn Magnus for you with a test hand. That was random, and I did mess up at first, but I figured out what I was supposed to do. And now in hindsight, whenever I run into that scenario in particular, I know how I'm supposed to play it. But I had not ran into that scenario before, so that was a learning experience for everyone. So thank you guys so much for watching my deck profile. And to those of you who watched the combo and the test hand, hopefully that helps you guys to get an understanding with this deck. It is a pretty solid deck. It's just not going to do you so well in the long run when you're going to 9-round tournaments and YCSs and stuff. It's just, you can't expect it to just perform outrageously amazing every single time, because there are a myriad of hand traps being played, and it's not that great going second, even when it's piloted by the right person. But that is all I have for you guys today. Stay positive. Have a beautiful day. If I didn't already say it, make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells, and stay tuned for future content. All right? Peace out, you guys.